It's day 18 in the trial for a crime that Democrats still haven't named. Michael Cohen suffering under a blistering cross-examination today. And oh boy, did he fall apart. The prosecution's entire case rested on one phone call that Michael Cohen says took place. Cohen testified that he called Trump's head of security and told him that the Stormy payment was taken care of. That was the big link between Trump and the money. Today it came out the call never happened. Trump's defense lawyers showed Cohen a sheet of text messages on the night he claims he made that call. Turns out Cohen had been getting prank calls from a 14-year-old and called Trump's security chief to ask if he could sic the Secret Service on him. Trump's defense attorney raising his voice, zeroing in on Cohen. That was a lie. You did not talk to President Trump. Cohen panicked, shifted in his seat, voice cracking. I'm not certain that's accurate. But the call logs don't lie. It was a Perry Mason moment. Sources inside the courtroom tell us the entire jury's jaw hit the floor. And never Trump or George Conway put his hands to his face and stared at the ceiling. CNN couldn't believe it.
Michael Cohen was cornered in what appeared to be a lie.
I don't think I've ever seen a star cooperating witness get his knees chopped out quite as clearly and dramatically as what just happened with Michael Cohen.
It does seem pretty bad, though.
This does seem, I feel like there are a lot of questions that have been raised.
I think if I was a juror in this case, watching that, I would think this guy's making this up as he's going along.
Donald Trump called it fascinating.
I think it was a very interesting day. It was a fascinating day. And it shows what a scam this whole thing is. I'm spending a lot of time and I'm spending a lot of money, which is what they want. They want me to spend my time and my money. And I'm willing to do it because ultimately we have to fight for the Constitution.
The entire testimony was a disaster. Trump's lawyer played for the jury. Michael Cohen sounding like a lunatic on his podcasts. A very different Michael Cohen from what the jury had seen inside of court.
I truly hope that this man ends up in prison. It won't bring back the year that I lost or the damage done to my family, but revenge is a dish best served cold. And you better believe I want this man to go down and rot inside for what he did to me and my family. He is about to get a taste of what I went through, and I promise you, it's not fun.
Jurors peered up at Cohen while the tape played. They were embarrassed for him. Cohen looked down at the ground, also embarrassed. Imagine being a juror, listening, and realize you just spent your whole month away from work, away from your family, to listen to a case in which the star witness is exposed as a fanatic, seeking revenge on the defendant. The defense caught Cohen in lie after lie. At one point, the lawyer says, "Did you ever ask for a pardon?" Cohen says no. Then the lawyer pulled out a deposition where Cohen asked for a pardon. The whole courtroom just shakes their head. The defense painted a picture of a jilted lawyer who'd been passed over for White House chief of staff and who even had a hard time getting tickets to the inauguration. Cohen was suicidal and was forced to admit under oath that he had a vendetta against Trump. If you're a juror and you hear the star witness say that, not good. Michael Cohen's former lawyer told Fox this morning that Cohen said he never had anything on Trump, which would make sense because if Cohen did have dirt on Donald, he would have handed it to the feds on a silver platter to stay out of prison.
Besides making that statement, I swear to God, I don't have anything on Donald Trump, he also said more times than that answer, guys, I want you to understand, I will do whatever the F I have to do. I will never spend a day in jail. And then he'd slam his hand on the conference room table. Now, what does that mean to you? That means this guy is saying, I will lie, cheat, steal, do whatever I have to do. I'm not going to jail.
As Johnny Cochran said, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. And nothing here seems to fit. Bragg's whole case is hanging on a liar, a phone call that never happened, and a crime that no one can name. Bragg hasn't offered any proof that this payment was a campaign finance violation, that Trump knew or believed it was a campaign finance violation, and that he willfully falsified business records to cover it up. How do you cover up a crime that doesn't exist? Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.